Do we have enough to do one per table?
3, 4.
Don't make her head so big.
How you do this? I gotta take that.
So we're all yummed up.
My real friends. These are my real friends right here.
You go in, white lady will come out and start yelling.
Welcome.
Anybody physically dis-
There we go.
I don't care.
Toga, toga, toga.
Guys, over this way.
Toga, 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 toga.
Hi guys, how you doing, huh?
Les.
And to be hey, we're always glad to come here and we'll
We're always glad to see you. Toga, 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 toga.
Have some political updates for all of my fine senators and Spartans here tonight. It's really beautiful to have us all together once again. I hope everybody is enjoying a wonderful either chicken or lamb and many, many grapes, of course. The chips are pita chips. You can scoop them into your meat and, you know, get all sorts of crazy. I apologize if the ice cream's a little mucky already. So the origin of the word cannabis is rooted in the culture that we are celebrating tonight. And that in and of itself is a great blessing. We also did a little research over the last couple days on ancient Greece, and we found some interesting things out. The Greeks not only used cannabis medicinally, they also used it in veterinary medicine. They used it for their horses. They used it in teas and in the public steam baths. Has anybody here ever taken a cannabis bubble bath? It's awesome. I highly recommend it, no pun intended. But when we're talking about this being talked about as medicine in ancient Greece, we're going back 5,000 to 7,000 years today and celebrating a culture and building that bridge. The other thing, of course, that we know that Greece brought to many cultures is the concept of democracy, right? And that's something that we definitely need to take a look at what's going on right now in medical cannabis. And we all need to further democracy in medical cannabis. And so we have a petition that I just want to say a few words about and explain sort of our patient platform on. And definitely, if you haven't signed our petition, please do. And if you want to help us gather signatures, please do. And the petition's really simple. It only has a few points, and I'm not going to really elaborate much. We want to enact the Truth in Trials Bill introduced, which provides a medical defense for cannabis on a national level. So this has been introduced to our Congress, which is modeled after democracy in Greece, right? So let's hope that our elected officials do what we need them to do. The unfortunate thing is we looked it up online, and on the government tracks so far they're saying it has a 1% chance of passing. So that means that we need to get our congressional representative, which is Miss Nancy Pelosi, to put her name on this as well. It's not that scary. And then we have another national request to be made, and that is to include medical cannabis in President Obama's health care plan. How many people support that? A lot of people want to take a big, you know what, on President Obama right now in the national policy orgs. I'm not one of them. You have Obamacare. We have many more chances to have equality and an equal society with this presidency, and hopefully, God knows we don't want Mitt Romney. Anybody here a big fan of Mitt?
No!
Okay. So I think our point is to make sure in his second term that we get in Obama's face. We want to deschedule, not reschedule, but we want to deschedule cannabis. We want to take it off the Controlled Substance Act and categorize it as a botanical remedy. So everybody knows right now we're in the same category as cocaine and heroin and things that really we've seen hurt our families. And I don't think anybody can say that cannabis has hurt their family. We want to end the prohibition of cannabis. We want to empty our prisons.
That's right. No more privatized prisons either.
Because our prisons are mostly full of poor people, minorities, who are unjustly targeted and nonviolent members of our community. Now this is one that maybe I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help a lot, in particular at our city hall, to define. We've got some problems here with our lobbyists. We want our communities and our government to discern. So tell the difference between the agendas of an industry lobbyist and a patient advocate. Industry goals promote restrictive permits and excessive fees to obtain McBud monopolies. So they want to limit the number of clubs that you have. They want to only allow certain people to, you know, who have enough money to buy an expensive permit. That's not how it works, and that's not what's going to keep your price down and your quality up. Are you with me? And then, you know, last but most certainly not least, we ask to prioritize patient advocates' agendas as we are direct stakeholders of our affordable health care. He has sent Senator Brooks here to speak with us on behalf of Caesar Julian.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, everybody. Shona said Julian couldn't make it today, but he wanted me to...
He's not beautiful.
So Julian wanted me to give you some words from him, from his mouth, from Burning Man. If that's okay with you. So Julian is a progressive candidate in a progressive district here in San Francisco. He's running for district supervisor. It's District 5, and his campaign slogan is "Keep San Francisco Real."
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Yeah, that's what you want. Unfortunately, downtown forces are attacking this progressive reforms and attacking progressive values in the district, and it's making it harder for current San Francisco locals to live in this community.
That's right.
That's right.
It's starting to suck.
Recent attacks, one of the biggest is on medical cannabis, and that's not okay. That's completely unacceptable according to Julian and according to you all, I hope.
Yes,
So one of the big issues is U.S. Attorney Office attacks and San Francisco District Attorney attacks on the cannabis dispensaries around San Francisco, and this is a clear violation of local and state public policy.
Yes.
Good thing Davis is here. He's been a longtime advocate of the medical cannabis community, and he speaks out for safe access, compassionate use, and decriminalization of medical marijuana. He worked as an aide for Mark Leno, and when he was there, he worked with local dispensaries to establish favorable state and local policies regarding medical cannabis policy and regulation. Now more than ever, San Francisco needs Julian Davis in City Hall.
Yeah.
And I hope, along with you, along with Axis of Love, this is your guy to be there and fight for the medical marijuana issue. So please vote for Julian Davis in District 5.
Julian Davis!
Yeah? And if you want to volunteer for the cause, I'm the volunteer coordinator. So come meet me and I'll take down your information and contact you to get on the streets, to spread the word, and have Julian Davis win this election. Let's do it.
Give a big round of applause for Senator Brooks. So, I want to tell people a little secret here. Axis of Love, also many of our members are involved with the Political Action Committee, and it is called Patients for Compassionate Use Policies. And we will be down at Julian's office every Tuesday from 6 to 9 to help him with the campaign. So that's when people that support compassionate care can come together in support of probably, too bad Julian isn't here because he had planned to tell you the story of when we gave him the award. He went up to the buffet table and apparently he wasn't looking at the little signs that had the little leaves on them. And him and his friend Andy Blue, who if you go down to the campaign office you'll meet him too, they said that they were medicated for 3 days after they received their awards. And that can only be a good sign when someone who's running for office smiles and hugs me and tells me that, right?
That's a great thing.
It's a great thing. And one thing I asked Julian if he would do if he was elected would be to take the "non" off my resolution for compassionate care. Just taking off 3 letters, N-O-N, would make it actual law. And what that law would provide would be that every city permitted dispensary have a compassion program. And he said that's a no-brainer. He said that's a no-brainer. That'll be one of the first things I do when I sit down. And that's good to hear because you know what? The most I could get out of the former Supervisor Ross Mercurini, was a non-binding resolution because of the pressure from the cannabis industry here in San Francisco, who does not want that in law. They do not want to be required to have a compassionate care program. They just want to do it if they feel like it, and so far that's really not working for poor people, is it?
No!
Just if you feel like it, you know?
No.
And you know, the reasoning it was, well, they're merchants, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not just merchants. They are merchants who opened up a retail business on the backs of sick and dying people. Yeah, they can share. They can share. We have enough to share, I guarantee you, and they can share. Demeter is the goddess of the harvest and the goddess of the crops in ancient Greece. And she knows how much surplus there is every harvest. We can make sure that every person that's in pain is living a pain-free life if they so choose that alternative path. There's no reason why this can't happen, okay? So, when we have someone like Julian Davis willing to stick up for us, I hope you all will join us down at his campaign office, and it's really going to be very easy for many medical cannabis patients to find his campaign office, because it's the old vapor room. So we're sitting on the land that the feds tried to take from us, and we're going to get Senator Davis elected on that land they tried to take from us. How about that? How about that for the fates coming and sharing their graces with us? We have, I actually think that I actually have two of the recipients of the awards back in the room. Is Stephen Crane and James Ward here? Or did they leave again? We got James. James, come on up. Where's Stephen Crane? Awesome. So you guys left, and I was giving you an award. So these are two guys that made sure that we gathered a zillion signatures at the Fish concert. So let's give them a big round of applause. So you guys, Stephen and James are also really good friends of mine, and I want to just tote some of the other things they do out in the community. Stephen Crane runs Axis of Love's Cancer Support Group, and he is also a seated member of the Patient Advocacy Committee working specifically on SRO issues. And then my friend James Ward has been waiting to be seated on the Veterans Committee of our Medical Cannabis Task Force up at City Hall and helps run our Veterans Group at Axis of Love. So these guys are awesome guys. We see them everywhere in this city. And now you know some of the good work they do. So hopefully when you bump into them, you'll say, thank you, man. Thank you for doing that, because they're doing it for all of us. Center, Vasa Collective. In 1944 Ocean. We still have a few collectives that no matter what's going down around us, we're going to make sure that everybody receives a little bit of care at the end of the month. So, is the microphone up a little high? Am I busting balloons here? Crazy stuff like that has happened.